Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your December the 11th, just for today, in a meditation. Hope you're doing well. It's good to be with you. Okay, let's get the meditation pulled up. Misery is optional. No one is forcing us to give up our misery. That comes from the basic text, page 29. It's funny to remember how reluctant we once were to surrender to recovery. We seemed to think we had wonderful, fulfilling lives as using addicts, and that giving up our drugs would be worse than serving a life sentence, at hard labor. In reality, the opposite was true. Our lives were miserable, but we were afraid to trade that familiar misery for the uncertainties of recovery. It's possible to be miserable in recovery, too, though it's not necessary. No one will force us to work the steps, go to meetings, or work with a sponsor. There is no militia, no NA militia that will force us to do the things that will free us from pain. But we do have a choice. We've already chosen to give up the misery of active addiction for the sanity of recovery. Now, if we're ready to exchange today's misery for even greater peace, we have a means to do just that, if we really want to. Just for today, I don't have to be miserable unless I really want to be. Today, I will trade in my misery for the benefits of recovery. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Misery is optional, and I like that. No one's forcing any of us to give up our misery, but we have a means to do so if we really want to. Many of us come into recovery and that's all we want. We just do not want to use drugs. We just want a place we can run to and share when we have the urge to use, when we have a burning desire. We just want a place where we can offload whatever we're dealing with so we feel less pressure on the inside. That's enough for some people. I'm sure I know several. I'm sure you know several. It's almost though, when those individuals start complaining about life, it's almost like they're telling the same story over and over. The main common factor is themselves. And in the back of my mind, I'm just like, just work the steps. Just work the steps. You have everything available to you to be free. Just work the steps. And so there's a tendency to mute those sort of people because they're just complaining but not wanting to change. We all can choose to give up our misery at various levels, right? It's like having a dressed up garbage can. We can empty it out halfway. We can empty out the trash can a third of the way. We can empty it out completely. Or we can leave it as it is. We can remain a dressed up garbage can, full of junk on the inside, shiny on the outside. No one forces any of us to do any work. That's why the requirement for membership is simply a desire to stop using. Today, let's make a different decision. Let's decide to go a little bit further into our recovery. So that looks like if I don't have a sponsor, get a sponsor. If I do have a sponsor, try to be in touch with my sponsor. And after a little bit, my sponsor's getting to know me and vice versa, start embarking on doing the steps. Pick up a service position. There's so many things that we can do. So I invite you today to do just that. Decide that you don't have to be miserable unless you really want to be, and that you will trade in your misery for the benefits of recovery. I'm not saying it's easy. It definitely is not easy. Being miserable for many of us is a familiar ground, a familiar state of being. And we'd rather stay there than take a chance on surrendering fully to recovery. I get it. I've done it. I get it. But you deserve better, and so do I. So let's continue to work on ridding ourselves of misery. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. Be sure to like and share. And if you're just listening, subscribe. Take care.